If there's one thing we learned from the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the NBA Finals this year, it's that building through the draft and competing at the highest level with a relatively young team is absolutely achievable, and moving forward, it's probably going to make a lot of teams rethink their team-building approach. The NBA draft just went down last month, adding even more promising young talent to every team, and all of this brings us to today's video. Today we will be going through all 30 NBA teams, and we'll be ranking their young cores. This will only take into account the players on their roster that are under the age of 25, and that are on standard NBA contracts, plus the basis for the rankings will stem from a combination of how good the players are right now, and how good they have shown they could possibly develop into being in the future. So yes, there is going to be a lot up for debate based on projection, but in the world of sports content, I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll be starting at the bottom and work our way up to the number 1 spot, so coming in at number 30, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, the Bucks only have one single player that qualifies as someone that fits into their young core, as Andre Jackson Jr. is an impressive athlete that defends hard and provides good energy off the bench for the team, but he's definitely not enough to carry the Bucks past anyone else today on this list, unfortunately. Next at number 29, we have the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers have 3 players that fit the criteria today, but none of them are really proven in any capacity. Cam Christie didn't show that much as a rookie, Baldwin has had more shine in the G League than in the NBA, and Niederhauser was just drafted with the last pick in the first round of this year's draft, and will probably struggle to see the court behind veterans like Ivica Zubac and Brook Lopez on this team. Next at number 28, we have the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are another team that lacks the manpower in the youth department, as Baylor Shireman and Hugo Gonzalez are the only ones that fit the bill. With the team undergoing a mini rebuild year in the absence of Jason Tatum for the upcoming season, it definitely would have been nice to have some more young guys to throw out there and try to develop, but Gonzalez is a nice find at the end of the first round coming over from Spain. Next at number 27, we have the New York Knicks. The Knicks are a contending team with all of their money and assets used up on their rotation that is primarily made up of guys in their prime and experienced veterans. Miles McBride is the only young player in their rotation at the moment, and he brings great energy off the bench as a sharpshooter who confidently lets it fly, but besides that, there's not much else compared to the rest of the NBA. Next at number 26, we have the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers' young core would look a lot better if Dalton Knecht hadn't been trending in the wrong direction over the past 5 months, but with him falling out of the rotation completely by the time the playoffs rolled around, and then stinking up the joint in the Summer League, the Lakers' core is looking a lot more pedestrian. After Knecht, it's Bronny James, Adu Thiero, and Jake LaRavia, with LaRavia being the only one that has proven he can produce in a rotation as a decent floor spacing 4. Next at number 25, we have the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers, unfortunately, may be about to experience the biggest 180 ever after being one win away from being crowned NBA champions. Benedict Mathurin is a fierce scoring punch off the bench who scores in bunches and doesn't shy away from big moments, but Jarris Walker has barely even played consistent minutes after having been a lottery pick, and the rest of the players that fit the criteria for them aren't really moving any kind of needles in this debate. Next at number 24, we have the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are another team that is all in on winning as much as possible right now, with Nikola Jokic in his prime, so developing young talent isn't really a priority for them. Christian Braun is the highlight of this group, developing into a very solid starting shooting guard who pairs perfectly with Jokic as a cutter, finisher, and efficient shooter. Deron Holmes is going to finally make his NBA debut as a rookie this year after missing all of last season with an injury, and guys like Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson play decent minutes off the bench, but overall high-end talent for their young core isn't here. Next at number 23, we have the Miami Heat. Kel'el Ware is the highlight of this group as an incredibly athletic young big man who can be a beast around the rim, with the potential to shoot the ball from the outside, becoming a more trusted weapon at his disposal too. He still needs a lot of work with his discipline and overall attitude, which is according to his own head coach Eric Spoelstra, but the talent he has is definitely there. Besides that, Jaime Jaquez struggled mightily in his second season, Nikola Jovic is a solid 3-and-D athletic young forward, and Kasparas Jakučionis is coming in as a rookie with good passing instincts and talent, but his shot is very inconsistent right now, and it may take a while for him to become a useful scorer. Next, at number 22, we have the Sacramento Kings. The Kings have 3 players that fit the criteria today, and all 3 of them have the ability to be good players in the rotation. Unfortunately, none of them really have star upside, so the group still ranks near the bottom of this list today. Keegan Murray is a great defender, but his 3-point shot is trending in the wrong direction. Devin Carter is also a great perimeter defender, but his rookie season was cut short by injury, and incoming rookie Nick Clifford just had a strong showing in Summer League. Up next at number 21, we have the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are admittedly a difficult group to rank right now because Jonathan Kuminga's future with the team is pretty up in the air, but even with him, they wouldn't be a top-ranked group anyway. Kuminga has a ton of raw talent, but his inopportune mental lapses on defense have made it hard for Steve Kerr to trust him consistently. Brandon Podziemski can be hot and cold, but when he's hot, he can be a solid two-way guard in the rotation and has proven to be. Moses Moody is becoming a reliable 3-and-D player in the rotation, and G. Santos even emerged as a stretch big playable in a playoff setting. Next, at number 20, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers really only have one notable player to take into consideration for today's video in Evan Mobley, and while Mobley is easily one of the best players we'll be discussing in this entire video, it's also very difficult to justify ranking a group as a whole any higher than this when only one candidate is doing the heavy lifting. Mobley's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, who has also gotten better and better on offense every season, so he single-handedly keeps the Cavaliers out of the bottom 10, but can't fight alone against the other teams with several pieces in this category. Next at number 19, we have the Chicago Bulls. This young Bulls core could explode in the upcoming season, or they could come back down to earth. Assuming Josh Giddey re-signs with the team, I am confident that he'll continue to build off of his impressive bounce-back season last year. Matas Buzelis is oozing with talent as a 6'10" wing player with a strong handle and creation skills, and they drafted Noah Asengwe from France, who is another long athlete with intriguing defensive talent and athleticism, but right now the majority of their young core is still pretty raw. Next at number 18, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of the Grizzlies' rotation consists of the guys in their young core, and even though Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. have aged out of this classification, the team continues to bring in young, quality talent around those guys. Zach Edey is a beast of a presence inside who may not be the quickest at his size and length, but he helps out at the center position a ton, on defense and on the glass. Jalen Wells was a pleasant surprise breakout last season as a 3-and-D wing. Scottie Pippen Jr. is an outstanding backup point guard who showed out in the playoffs, and they just drafted Cedric Coward, so it's a well-balanced group here. Next at number 17, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans just drafted 2 players in the lottery of this draft worth being excited about in Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. Both, however, also have some concerning weaknesses at the moment that need to be addressed, with Fears being painfully inefficient and Queen being one of the least athletic big men ever tested at the draft combine. But offensively, down the line, both of them have sky-high upside. Yves Missi is coming off of a strong rookie season too, and Jordan Hawkins is becoming a decent scoring option off the bench for them, so overall they're hovering in the mediocre tier of cores at the moment. Next at number 16, we have the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets have one of the largest groups of young talent in the entire league right now, but even with that being the case, they don't really have a top-level talent to build through, and if I'm being honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the group of 5 players that they just drafted in the first round this year either. They have a lot of players that seem like they should become solid role players at best, and as long as Cam Thomas resigns, they'll have a go-to scorer there as well, but there are just quite a few young groups in the league that I am way higher on right now. Next at number 15, we have the Phoenix Suns. The Suns' young core is now headlined by Jalen Green after the Kevin Durant trade, and while Green ended up not being reliable enough to be a go-to scoring option on a title contender, I think his reputation has swung too far to the negative side now, because he is still someone who led a playoff team in scoring last year. I wouldn't count on him making an all-star game anytime soon, but he's a microwave scorer on the wing. The Suns also just drafted Kaman Maluach, who may be raw right now, but his ceiling is sky high at center, plus they traded for Mark Williams, who has proven to be a walking double-double when he's healthy. He just needs to prove that he can stay healthy. Next at number 14, we have the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are led by Scotty Barnes, who provides some of the best and most versatile defensive impact in the game today, and on offense is a bit of a Swiss Army knife, producing in a number of different ways as an athletic, slasher, and solid secondary playmaker. But after that, there's a bit of uncertainty with this team's core. Colin Murray-Boyles is coming in pegged as one of the best defenders in this year's draft, but offensively, he's an undersized big man that struggles shooting the ball, which will limit his upside. Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter are promising young shooters, but need to strengthen up and improve their efficiency numbers. Next at number 13, we have the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, not too long ago, probably would have been ranked near the bottom of this list, but thanks to the luck of some ping pong balls, or so they say, they were rewarded with Cooper Flagg at the top of this year's draft, and now their future is looking a whole lot brighter. Flagg is a stud on both sides of the ball and should be an all-star in his prime, and Derek Lively is an impressive rim-running and rim-protecting big man, but they lack the high-end depth to crack the top 10 of this list. Next at number 12, we have the Utah Jazz. The Jazz have a lot of players under the age of 25 on their roster right now, and the young depth at every position is pretty impressive enough to push them this high on the list. They have a lot of players that will be good players for a long time, but they're still lacking in that top-tier star-level prospect to build around, and unfortunately for them, that's a big need. Some think that Ace Bailey can be that. I simply disagree, as I view him more of a Michael Porter Jr. type of scorer, but of course, we'll see over time. Next at number 11, we have the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers have 5 players who all give good reason for their fans to get pretty excited. Deni Avdija is taking that next step, looking like someone who could be a borderline all-star this upcoming season. Shaedon Sharpe is a natural scorer who has shown he can be someone that puts up about 20 points a night. He just needs to be more efficient with it. Donovan Clingan is already one of the best defensive big men in the league as a shot blocker and a beast on the glass. Scoot Henderson is gradually improving, albeit not quite at the rate that many hoped he would, and new rookie Young Hansen is taking the basketball world by storm as an incredibly exciting talent with a playmaking skill set as a center that has him being compared to a young Nikola Jokic. Now, to start off the top 10 of the young cores in the NBA, we have the Washington Wizards. The Wizards crack the top 10 with a lot of promising young guys under the age of 25. Alex Sarr is an incredible defensive talent who blocks a ton of shots already, but offensively he does need to improve as a shooter, and he struggles a bit with physicality right now. They have a ridiculous amount of athletes changing the team's culture on defense, with guys like Bilal Coulibaly, AJ Johnson, Bub Carrington, and Keyshawn George all looking good in that regard. Cam Whitmore is a very intriguing scoring talent that they just traded for from Houston as a buy low move, and Trey Johnson is coming in as a rookie looking like a walking bucket in Summer League, so he may lead the team in scoring this season. Next at number 9, we have the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets have a star leading the way in LaMelo Ball, and Brandon Miller is a much more advanced scorer than most anticipated, but both need to prove that they can do it for a full healthy season, and this group also desperately needs to start winning some games. Rookie Con Knipple is someone I believe will be a tremendous fit as a versatile offensive player capable of filling any role necessary as a knockdown shooter and reliable playmaker, and Liam McNeely could end up being a steal in this draft as another sharpshooting talent. Next at number 8, we have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks core, in my opinion, is probably the most underrated young core in the entire league. Jalen Johnson is becoming an incredibly versatile power forward at 6'9", who plays like a point forward, averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists a night. Then number 1 pick Zachary Rees-Sachet really started to take off in the second half of last season and is also helping elevate the team's defense and floor spacing. Onyeka Okongwu is yet another switchable, versatile defensive talent anchoring the middle. Dyson Daniels might legitimately be the best perimeter defender in the NBA, and newly drafted Asa Newell is also coming in ready to compete hard on defense and do the little things to help the team win. The amount of young two-way talent they're putting around Trae Young right now is impressive, and it's why the Hawks are looking ready to explode this upcoming season. Next at number 7, we have the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers might have the best young backcourt in the entire NBA, with Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and now VJ Edgecombe all having either real star potential, or in Maxey's case is already a bona fide star. Maxey might be a top 10 scorer in the NBA, Jared McCain was on track to run away with the Rookie of the Year award before injury, and is such a smart decision maker as a scorer, and VJ Edgecombe just has the it factor, it seems, and work ethic to dominate both ends of the ball, having already shown big things in Summer League. They lack the high-end young frontcourt talent, but this backcourt is good enough to comfortably cement this team in the top 10 of the young core's list. Next at number 6, we have the Detroit Pistons. It's a luxury to have your core led by Cade Cunningham, who has all of the talent to one day be the best point guard in the NBA. He's already very close after averaging 26 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds per game this year, leading the Pistons back to the playoffs, and everyone else in their core just adds to this strength. Jaden Ivey was breaking out as a 3-level scorer before suffering an unfortunate injury that ended his season. Jalen Duren is Cade's running mate in the pick and roll, averaging a double-double. Asar Thompson is an incredible defensive talent, and Ron Holland is coming along as a slashing scorer who may be in for a big year 2 boost after a strong showing in the Summer League. Next at number 5, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves have the best shooting guard in the NBA headlining their young core, as Anthony Edwards alone boosts this group pretty far up the list. After leading the team to the conference finals in back-to-back seasons as one of the league's scoring leaders, doing so efficiently as he does, there's no doubt that Edwards is on a path for greatness. Then Jaden McDaniels is another top-tier defensive talent and glue guy in the middle of the lineup. Rookie Yohan Berenger is coming in with very impressive shot-blocking instincts. Rob Dillingham is such a natural playmaker on the ball, who does need to bulk up to earn more minutes though, and Terrence Shannon could prove to be a nice bench scoring piece on this team moving forward as well. Up next at number 4, we have the Houston Rockets. The Rockets have a first-time All-Star leading the way as Alperen Sengun gets better and better every year, and his scoring talent inside and out, footwork in the paint, passing ability and court vision, and stability running the offense through him has been drawing comparisons to Nikola Jokic for a reason. Amen Thompson also very well may be the most athletic player the NBA has seen since prime LeBron James, and after he was just named first team all-defense this year, has real all-star upside. Jabari Smith Jr. may not be the star that many thought he would be when he was drafted top 3 in the draft, but he's a stout defender who plays a critical role in their lineup with the ability to use his size to score over mismatches. Tari Eason is one of the best two-way bench players in the NBA right now, and the Rockets are hoping that Reed Shepherd can be ready for a bigger role in year 2 coming up, but overall, this is a strong unit top to bottom. Next up at number 3, we have the Orlando Magic. When you reach this point in the list where the best of the best young cores need to be separated, it certainly helps that the Magic's 2 best players both meet the criteria. Paolo Banchero is one of the best young players in the entire NBA, getting exponentially better every year, and proving he can produce at the same level in the playoffs, dominating in his series this postseason. Franz Wagner is a borderline all-star coming off of a season scoring 25 points per game. He just does desperately need to improve as a three-point shooter to be more reliable in big moments, and then after those 2 studs, they have a deep group of young guys leveling this team up. Freshly drafted Jace Richardson will give the team a nice scoring boost off the bench early. Jalen Suggs is a 16-point per game scorer and great perimeter defender, and Anthony Black plays almost like a Swiss Army knife in their rotation, so this is a powerhouse of below 25-year-old talent. Next up at number 2, the team that came closest to claiming the throne for the best young core in the NBA is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder are your 2025 NBA champions, and they did it with the youngest team in the NBA, so of course, their young core is in contention at the top of this list. Jalen Williams is an all-defense level wing defender who also quieted every doubter he had about whether or not he could be good enough to be a number 2 scoring option on a playoff team when he dropped 40 points in a pivotal NBA Finals game. Chet Holmgren is one of the best shot blockers in the NBA, and on offense, he gives the team a dynamic floor spacer and playmaker at the position that can create a ton of mismatches. Cason Wallace is the perfect kind of role player that just plays smart basketball and competes his tail off. Nikola Topic is coming in for his rookie season this year as a superb passing talent that missed all of last year due to injury. There is a very good argument for having this team as the number 1 young core on the list today, and I definitely wouldn't fault you for being of that mindset. And finally, the number 1 best young core in the NBA right now belongs to the San Antonio Spurs. I don't know what kind of prayers they've been saying down in Texas, but the Spurs have been blessed by the basketball gods in the draft several times over the last few years. Obviously, being led by the alien that is Victor Wembanyama is a pretty damn good start to propel them pretty far up this list, but then they once again got blessed with the number 2 pick in this year's draft and added Dylan Harper to the mix, who absolutely also has all-star upside at point guard. It doesn't stop there either, because they've also got the reigning Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle locking players up on defense and attacking the basket hard using his explosiveness and strength to bully defenders around the rim. They've also got Devin Vassell providing some reliable scoring on the wing, averaging between 16 and 19 points per game over the last few years, and Carter Bryant, who they also drafted in the lottery this year, has all of the tools to be one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. They're overflowing with riches right now, and the way this roster is set up, they're preparing for the long haul and have the talent to break out right now this season. So for me, when you have all of that surrounding arguably the best basketball prospect of the decade, they get to claim the top spot. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the young cores of the NBA. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.